You're listening to the Mind Over Finger podcast, episode number 167. Welcome to the Mind Over Finger podcast. Discussions on mindful music making, efficient practice, optimal performance, and building a purposeful life and fulfilling career. I'm your host, violinist, and certified performance and life coach for musicians, Dr. René-Paul Gauthier. Hello, everyone. I hope this is a great day for you. In this episode, we continue our exploration journey of the path to mastery. As I've shared with you, in April and May, we're covering this topic of mastery. Last week, we talked about what it is, and today we're moving on to looking at the 5 keys to mastery. And before we do that, I'm curious. Are you currently on the audition path? Are you aiming for that elusive first position or maybe striving to level up in your musical career? If so, I have a question for you. What do you think it would take you to deliver a winning audition? Do you think you need to master your repertoire better or improve your musicality or overcome your performance anxiety? Or maybe it's something else that's holding you back. Maybe you're struggling with a shaky bow or a shallow breath or that nagging feeling of never being quite prepared enough. If this sounds like you and you're looking for real solutions, I invite you to join the Music Mastery Experience, my life-changing group coaching program. Together, we're going to dive in deep and understand the stumbling blocks that are getting in your way. We're going to figure out how they were created. We're going to untangle all of it. And we're going to create a powerful strategy that's tailored to your needs so you can deliver your best audition yet and perform with confidence time and time again. The Music Mastery Experience encompasses a comprehensive approach to peak performance, and we're going to cover everything from effective practicing techniques to performance preparation and conditioning methods. You're going to learn my deep practice model, which is going to help you learn repertoire faster and better. You're going to discover the mindsets that are going to turbocharge your practice sessions, and you're going to get powerful life coaching that's going to help you make big strides in your musical journey and achieve big goals in your life. No more wasting time or feeling frustrated. The tools and guidance you're going to receive in the Music Mastery Experience are going to save you tons of unnecessary agony and help you achieve the results you want. So don't miss out. Visit mindoverfinger.com/MME now to get all the details about the program and book your free conversation with me so we can plan how to make all of this your new reality now. Join the Music Mastery Experience and get ready to rock your auditions. Again, that's mindoverfinger.com/MME, and I'm going to have those links in the show notes for you, of course. And whether you're on the audition path or any other musical journey, mastery is something that you're probably thinking about. And I'm guessing that the 5 keys leading to it would be somewhat of interest to you. So let's talk about that. So, what are the 5 keys to mastery? These 5 keys were established by George Leonard, and George Leonard was an American writer, editor, and educator who focused on human potential, on consciousness, and self-improvement. He was a black belt in Aikido and wrote several books on the subject of mastery. And as I told you in the last episode, his book titled Mastery is a huge source of inspiration for this series of episodes on the topic. It's a wonderful book that I highly recommend because it encompasses a lot of the basic concepts surrounding a holistic approach to mastery. And I think it's a great place to start for anyone seeking mastery in any field. So, according to George Leonard, the 5 keys to mastery are instruction, practice, surrender, intentionality, and what he calls the edge. Let's start with the first one, instruction. Instruction in the context of mastery is all about having a teacher or mentor to guide us on our journey of learning and growth. I think most of us are familiar with this concept, right? I'll be brief on this because I already have 2 episodes on the topic that I highly recommend. That's 158 and 159, and I hope you check them out. But in a nutshell, instruction is about finding someone who has already achieved a level of mastery in the area we want to pursue and learning from them. That's simple. Of course, finding a good teacher or mentor can be challenging. It's important to find someone who's knowledgeable, experienced, and able to communicate their expertise effectively. When we find someone we trust and someone who fits our learning style, we benefit from their knowledge, experience, and their feedback. They help us learn how to play the instrument, how to develop the proper technique, and hopefully, they help us avoid common mistakes and they provide us with guidance on how to improve our overall musical skills. They can also challenge us to push ourselves beyond our current limits and help us set goals that are both realistic and challenging. Instruction is, of course, particularly important when we're starting out on our journey towards mastery. It can be overwhelming to try to learn everything on our own, and having a teacher will help us make more efficient progress. As you know, the road to being proficient or eventually a professional usually involves years and years of working with teachers. But instruction is not just for beginners and quote-unquote students. As we become more advanced in our skills, there's always more to learn and improve upon. We're all lifelong learners. So even when you're already a professional, getting guidance, support from a teacher or mentor or coach helps us continue to grow and refine our abilities. So instruction is crucial. This is how we learn more quickly and efficiently. We avoid common mistakes, and how we develop a deeper understanding of our musical voice. And again, I will refer you to episode 158 and 159 of the Mind Over Finger podcast. Let's move on to practice. And here again, I'm going to be brief. By now, you've heard me talk about my philosophy regarding practicing, and I've given you lots and lots of applicable tools on how to practice here on the podcast, on my website, and in my various online programs. So let's just give this a basic review of the fundamentals of what practicing means in the context of mastery. It's the process of honing our skills through repetition, trial and error, and deliberate effort. All of this sounds familiar, right? And as you very well know, practice is not just about putting in the time. It's also very much about the quality of our practice. George Leonard talks about the importance of focused practice, practicing with intention, attention, and full engagement. And you know, that's what I'm all about. This is what I advocate and teach to my clients using the deep practice model and the Mind Over Finger peak performance system. And this is what I talk about here on this podcast all the time. Focused practice involves setting clear goals and objectives for each practice session and being fully present and engaged in the process. It also means focusing on the areas where we need to improve and not just repeating what we already know how to do. One of the keys to effective practice at the core of the deep practice model is also that idea of breaking down our skills into smaller, more manageable pieces. We can then practice each piece individually and gradually build up to more complex movements or concepts. This approach helps us avoid feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, and it allows us to make steady progress over time. Of course, practice can and will be challenging and sometimes, oftentimes, frustrating. As I told you in the previous episode, we're going to encounter setbacks and obstacles along the way, for sure. We're going to have to persevere through plateaus. So it's important to stay committed despite these challenges, to find fulfillment in the process itself, to make the work, the practice engaging, interesting, and satisfying. And you've heard me say this time and time again on the podcast, and I hope you're not tired of it because that is the secret. Okay, this next one is a big one and one we don't talk about often. The third key is surrender. Surrender means letting go of your ego and accepting that mastery is a lifelong process. It's about embracing the journey and not just the destination. As George Leonard writes it, the master is willing to try and fail and try again for as long as they live. And this quote captures the essence of surrender in the context of mastery. Surrender means that we accept that failure and setbacks are a natural part of the learning process, and we're willing to keep trying despite these challenges. Surrendering can be challenging because it goes against our natural instincts. We all want to succeed quickly and easily, and we become frustrated or discouraged when we encounter setbacks along the way. Surrender means that we let go of our need for instant gratification or recognition. We acknowledge that true mastery is measured not by external accomplishments, but by our internal growth and development. And it's important to note that surrender is not about giving up or being passive in our pursuit of mastery. Rather, it's being patient, persistent, and committed to the process of learning and growth. So we continue to set goals and work towards them, but we do so with a greater appreciation for the journey and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our abilities. One of the biggest mindsets we use in the deep practice model and in the music mastery experience is that concept of beginner's mind. This idea that when we approach anything with the insatiable curiosity and enthusiasm of a beginner, with humility, our horizon expands in an extraordinary way. We find joy and fulfillment in every step. We surrender to the process. Surrender is something that a lot of us struggle with, but it's one key that could change everything for you. So spend some time looking at the ways you surrender or resist the process and watch the impact it's having on your journey. Let's look now at the fourth key to mastery, intentionality. Intentionality is a crucial component of mastery. It's all about being purposeful and deliberate in our actions and decisions. We have a specific vision of what we want to achieve. We set clear goals, and we are focused on taking deliberate steps towards that vision. And if you want help with this, I highly recommend episodes 136 and 137 of the Mind Over Finger podcast, where I guide you through how to set goals and how to plan for efficient practice. Intentionality also involves being mindful and present in the moment. We're not just going through the motions. We're not just moving our arms and making sounds and practicing mindlessly. We're fully engaged and present in the process, and we find meaning and purpose in the journey itself, as you've heard me say many times already. But when we do that, we can notice the subtle nuances of our practice and make continuous small adjustments that can have a big impact on our progress. So create a plan or roadmap for your journey towards mastery and break it down, these long-term goals, into smaller, more manageable milestones and create actionable steps for each milestone. By having that clear plan, you're going to avoid feeling overwhelmed or directionless, and you're going to stay focused on the specific actions you can take to make progress. It's easier to stay motivated and stay on track when we have that clear purpose and vision for ourselves, especially when we encounter setbacks and obstacles. Another aspect of intentionality is self-awareness. We need to be honest with ourselves about our strengths and weaknesses and be intentional about focusing on the areas where we need to improve. This involves being open to feedback and constructive criticism and being willing to put in the effort to address our weaknesses. Ultimately, intentionality is about taking responsibility for our own growth and development. We're not waiting for external factors to dictate our progress, but rather we are actively seeking out ways to improve and grow. Finally, the fifth key to mastery, according to George Leonard, is what he calls the edge. The edge refers to that boundary between our comfort zone and our growth zone. It's the place where we're pushing ourselves beyond what we already know how to do and into new territory where we're challenged to learn and grow. The edge is where true growth and transformation happen. When we stay within our comfort zone, it's easy to feel safe and secure, but it also keeps us stuck. We're not pushing ourselves to exploring and realizing our full potential. We miss out on opportunities to learn, improve, and expand our abilities. But pushing ourselves too far beyond our current abilities can also be overwhelming and discouraging. It's possible that we encounter setbacks or failures that rattle us just a bit too much. And it can be tempting to give up or retreat back to our comfort zone. So, how do we navigate the edge in a way that allows us to make steady progress? I would say it starts with a clear sense of purpose, as I've already mentioned, and with a strong sense of self-respect and self-alignment. We need to approach the edge with a growth mindset. Instead of seeing setbacks or failures as signs of inadequacy, we can view them as opportunities for growth. We can embrace challenges and setbacks as part of the learning process and use them as motivation to keep pushing ourselves towards our goals. Another important aspect of navigating the edge is being willing to take risks and try new things, to step outside of our comfort zone and embrace the discomfort that comes with trying something unfamiliar. We can start by taking small steps and gradually building up our confidence and abilities. And it's helpful to have a support system in place when we're navigating the edge. This can include mentors, coaches, or peers who can offer guidance, support, and encouragement along the way. They can help us stay accountable and motivated, and they can provide valuable feedback to help us improve. In the end, navigating the edge requires a willingness to be vulnerable and open to new experiences. We need to be willing to try new things. We need to be willing to make mistakes and learn from them. We need to be willing to embrace discomfort and uncertainty as part of the learning process and trust that the challenges we encounter will ultimately lead to growth and mastery. Navigating the edge is not always easy, but it is essential for achieving mastery. So, these are the 5 keys to mastery. As you can imagine, they're all interconnected and they work together to help us achieve our goals. Let's take a moment to review quickly and reflect on how we can apply these keys in our lives. With instruction, seek out learning opportunities and resources that can help you develop your skills and knowledge. This can include taking classes, reading books, watching tutorials, signing up for online coaching programs, and seeking guidance from mentors or experts. For practice, dedicate time and efforts to consistently practicing and refining your skills. Set specific goals, create a routine, and track your progress over time. For surrender, you must let go of perfectionism and embrace the learning process. Recognize the setbacks and failures as a natural part of the journey towards mastery and use them as opportunities for growth and learning. With intentionality, bring purpose in your pursuit of mastery. Set clear goals and priorities and align your actions with those values and your vision for your life. Now, the edge. Push yourself beyond your comfort zone and embrace challenges and uncertainty as opportunities. Be willing to take risks, try new things, and seek out feedback and support to help you navigate that edge. So by applying these keys to mastery, you're going to be able to develop your skills and abilities further. You're going to grow and you're going to achieve a greater expression of your full potential. And this goes way beyond your musical pursuits, as you can imagine. Whether it's in your personal or professional life, pursuing mastery can bring a sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, and purpose. And ask yourself these powerful questions to explore your relationship with mastery. What skills or areas of knowledge do I want to develop further, and why are they important to me? How do I approach setbacks or failures in my pursuit of mastery? Do I view them as opportunities, or do I get discouraged and give up? How do I prioritize my time and energy in pursuit of my goals? Am I intentional and purposeful in my actions, or do I get distracted or sidetracked? When was the last time I pushed myself beyond my comfort zone and embraced the edge? How did I feel during that experience, and what did I learn from it? By reflecting on these questions, you're going to gain a deeper insight into your own motivations, values, and approach to mastery. And you can use this insight to refine your goals, set clearer priorities, and develop more effective strategies. And remember, mastery is a lifelong process, and it's never too late to start. As George Leonard said, the long path to mastery requires a combination of humility, discipline, and resilience, but in the end, it's worth it. All right, my friends, this is what I have for you this week. Don't forget to visit mindoverfinger.com/MME and book your free conversation with me to explore if the music mastery experience is the right next step for you to take your mastery to the next level. Whatever goal you're pursuing, you can get there, and I will be so excited to help you. Much love going your way, and à bientôt. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mind Over Finger podcast. If this content was helpful for you, please share with everyone you think could benefit from it. Take a screenshot, share on social media, and tag me. I'm Mind Over Finger everywhere. So reach out, send me a DM, and let me know how this content helped you. Let's keep the conversation going. As always, I have all the information related to this episode in the show notes. You can find them via your podcast app or by visiting mindoverfinger.com, where you can also find more free resources on efficient practice and performance preparation, links to sign up to my free workshops, and information on how to work with me. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter to receive your free guide to a productive mindful practice, transcripts from the Mind Over Finger podcast episodes delivered to your inbox every week, and more. Also, join the Mind Over Finger Facebook community, my private group, for access to my live videos and to exchange with a community of like-minded musicians. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, and if you have specific questions for me or my guests that you would like answered in an episode, share them with me using the link in the show notes or send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. That's it for today. Again, thank you, and à bientôt.